Hi dear students, in the previous session we discussed about the coelenterids and are now called as cnidarians along with the examples. In today's session we are going to discuss about the next phyla called as Ctenophora. Ctenophora. We will start up with the general properties. Now we are going to take up the next phyla called as Ctenophora. So here T is silent and then it is written as Cteno. So here Cteno word has came from Ctenophora word has came from Greek language. Cteno refers to comb and phora refers to plates. Phora refers to plates. So that's why these are called as comb jellies or comb plates. Here the first property of these ctenophores are commonly called as sea walnuts. These are commonly called as sea walnuts, or they are commonly called as comb jellies or comb plates. Plates are comb jellies, as it is present with the jelly like substance in the interior of the body they possess. So that's why they are called as a comb jellies. And coming to the body properties are the characteristic features. Here they are diploblastic animals. They are diploblastic animals where they are commonly called as acoelomates. As they are diploblastic, they possess only two germ layers, that is ectoderm and endoderm. So that's why they are called as acoelomates. In that, the mesodermal germ layer, which is responsible for the formation of body cavity, is absent. So that's why these are called as acoelomates. ಇದು ಎರಡು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ. ಡಿಪ್ಲೋಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಮತ್ತು acoelomate ಎರಡು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರಿತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ acoelomates. And level of organization, the body level of organization is tissue grade type. Tissue level of organization is present. Organization is present. Here these are completely marine. The habitat is completely marine. There is no fresh water, single organism is not in fresh water. So here completely marine habitat. They live in oceans and seas. Next, coming to the body wall structure, their body wall is made up of outer and inner layer. It is made up of outer and inner layer. So that is, I will take this here, outer and inner layer. And this outer layer is made up of epidermis. Here consider that the body wall which is formed of epidermis, outermost layer is made up of epidermis, and inner to that will be the gastrodermis. Here the inner layer is called as gastrodermis. Dermis refers to skin. And when it comes to the epidermis, again it is having inner and outer layer. Again it possesses inner and outer layer. Inner and outer layer. And here when come to the inner and outer layer of epidermis, it possesses with the special characteristic features. We will find out the first the inner layer and we'll go to the outer layer later. So here the first one is inner layer, which is having sensory structures, which possess a sensory structures, and those sensory structures is having a mucus secreting glands, and they possess with the special type of cells called as coloblast cells, and these cells are having adhesive property. I will explain it again. Adhesive property, and they helps in capturing of food. So here we have outer epidermis and inner gastrodermis when it comes to the body wall, and later the epidermis is again divided, as it is the epidermis is outermost layer, but that epidermis is again divided into outer layer and the inner layer. When it comes to the inner layer, it possesses sensory structures and also mucus glands and mucus secreting cells. Sorry dear students, mucus glands is differ from mucus secreting cells. When it comes to the higher level organisms, that is called as glands. Okay, here the mucus secreting cells will be there, as these are lower level organisms and they possess a tissue grade of organization. There will be a presence of mucus secreting cells, and these cells are again embedded with a special type of cells called as coloblast cells. These are called as coloblast cells, and these are help in adhesive nature, or they possess adhesive nature. What do you mean by adhesive nature? Here you all very familiar with the some of the glue like materials. ನೀವು ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್ನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಇದನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ, ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅದು ಲೈಕ್ ಹುಕ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀರಾ. ಅದ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆಗಡೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗಮ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಈಗ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಈ ರೌಂಡ್ ಶೇಪಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಹಿಂಗೊಂದು ಹುಕ್ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಹುಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ನೀವೇನ ಕ್ಯಾಲೆಂಡರ್ನ ಹೀಗೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಹಿಂದೆಗಡೆ ಗ್ಲೂ ಟೈಪ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಥ್ರೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಗ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂಟ್ಕೊಳ್ತದೆ, ಒಂದು ಗಮ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಇರೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೇನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅಡೆಸಿವ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಅಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಈ ಕೊಲೋಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದಾವಲ್ಲ, ಅವು ಈ ಟೀನೋಫೋರ್ಗಳೆಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಏನು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಟೀನೋಫೋರಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಫೈಲಮಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ಸಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಕೊಲೋಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಅದು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಟ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಹತ್ರ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಐದರ್ ಟು ದ ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಆರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಟು ದ ರಾಕ್ಸ್, ಈ ಥರ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಅಡೆಸಿವ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಈ ಟೀನೋಫೋರನ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸು ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ that helps in capturing of food also. Okay, so regarding the coloblast cells, and when it is present in the innermost layer of the epidermis, and when come to the outermost layer of epidermis, it is present with a cilia containing structures. Cilia containing structures. Cilia containing structures. So now we will move to the gastrodermis. Again, to understand this gastrodermis, we will take up one diagram to understand the in detail properties along with the structural modification of Ctenophora. So here when come to the one of the organism that I am going to write here, it is a a vase shaped structure containing one, and this possess a hypostome, and later it bulges just like a vase like structure, and later on it just emerges to the downward region, and it is innermost region, and it just bulges itself, and it makes a balloon like structure on two sides. I will write this side also. So this balloon like structure, and later it just makes a circle like appearance, semicircular appearance, and this is called as a semicircular appearance. And again this extends as a narrow tube like structure and will join at the posterior end. So there will be a two ends for the animal. For any one animal it consists of two ends. So here on the other side also there will be a presence of outer epidermis, and again the hypostome is which is arising and it is running towards downward direction, and again it possesses with the a narrower little bit bulging structure, and again becomes a semicircular, extend it as a tube like structure and joins at the posterior end. So this is what the outlook of one of the ctenophora. So that is called as pleurobranchia. So this is called as pleurobranchia. Okay na? So here you can label the structures again. So this is called as posterior end, and this opening is called as anus. Again after this a tube like structure is called as a tube like structure which is called as the extension of a stomach. So this is stomach and its extension. Okay na? So this is called as stomach and its extension, and then after it is called as pharynx, and here it is called as a mouth, and the end is said to be anterior, this anterior end. Anterior end. And then after you can find many other structures included here. So this is considered as a epidermis, this is called as epidermis, and later this portion or otherwise this you can say that as a gastrodermis, and after this there will be an extension of a tube like structure from the stomach, and that is called as canal structures. So these canal structures which is formed will helps in exchanging of materials. It is just like an extension, and also from this side, and they attach it to the comb like structure formed on the outermost epidermal wall layer. So this is a comb like structure which is formed on the inner region to the epidermis. So this is again connected through each other. For this it is going to be connected like this, and again this is provided with the small hair like R. So when you find that, so this is a comb, ಒಂದು ಕೂಂಬ್ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ ಹೇರ್ ಕೂಂಬಿಂಗ್ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಗೈನ್ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಟೀತ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಟೀತ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ there will be a presence of a comb like structures which are formed to the outside region. So these are the comb like structures which are formed to outside the region. Okay na? and then again the inner to this region is called as mesoglia, and which is a non-cellular part. As in case of diploblastic animals, there will be a presence of only ectoderm and endoderm, outermost ectoderm and innermost endoderm. Here it is called as epidermis and gastrodermis. Two layers will be formed. In between that there is an absence of body cavity, and but still between the two layers there will be a presence of space, and that space is filled up by a non-cellular component called as a mesoglia. So here it is called as mesoglia. Okay, so this is about the structure of a pleurobrancia, and again on the surface of this there will be a presence of tentacles. So those tentacles which helps in movement, and along with that a ciliary structures. I said here a cilia containing structures will be present on the epidermis of a organism, and those here a special property of these ctenophora, a very largest animal which swims through cilia. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ಒಂದೇ ಆ್ಯನಿಮಲ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಲೋಕೋಮೋಟರಿ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ, ಸೀಲಿಯಾನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇರೋವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಟೀನೋಫೋರಾದಲ್ಲೇ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಸಿ ಇ ಟಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗುವಂಥ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟು ದ ಅದರ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟೀಸ್ ನಾವ್. So when it comes to the other properties like a unique one, so we'll discuss about the unique properties again. They are able to absorb sunlight and they can emit that during night time, or it may be able to exhibit the light. So as these are living organism and have the capacity to exhibit the light, so that's why this process is called as bioluminescence. So this is a major and a very unique property present in the ctenophora. So ನಾವು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ ಫೈಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ctenophora-ದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋ ಅಂಥದ್ದು ಆಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ and largest swimming organism by using cilia is the ctenophoran members, and also the bioluminescence property of a ctenophora. And next coming to the other properties, due to the presence of we'll consider the digestive system. It will be of both extra and intracellular digestion. Both extracellular and intracellular digestion. Extra and intracellular digestion. And they possess a special type of cells. As I said, they possess a special type of cells. Those are called as statocysts. Cyst antandre cell anteli. Okay na? Statocysts are the special type of cells which are present in the ctenophora. So those helps in maintaining equilibrium. So these helps in maintenance of equilibrium. Equilibrium andre ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಬಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಇರುವಂಥದ್ದು. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಗಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಮೇಂಟೆನೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಮ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ರಿಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ctenophora will be both here it is sexual method of reproduction, but the thing is These organisms are hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodites. What do you mean by hermaphrodites? As I said in the earlier class, a one individual organism, single organism consists of single individual is having both the sexes, both sex bearing structures are both gonads. Gonads ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ, sex cell formation structures are called as gonads ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. So otherwise you can use sexes also. So both the gonads are present in one individual itself, and that forms the a special property called as hermaphrodite. Even though they are hermaphrodite, they form cross fertilization. They form cross fertilization. As in case of this, in earlier session I told about the protogyny and protandry. Regarding protandry, where the andrecium is going to mature first and later on gynecium. In protogyny, first gynecium is going to mature and later the andrecium. So this is the way that helps in cross fertilization. Say for example, here it is a protandry. Then what happens? First the older protogyny will be received and later on it forms the fertilization process. And here when it comes to the fertilization, it is internal. Fertilization is internal and development is both by direct and indirect method. So in this way they forms the development. There is a different larval stages which get developed into a new individual. So that is called indirect development, and direct one means the egg is developed into a new individual of the parental type. So that is what direct development. So here we discussed about the ctenophora with the general properties, and then come to the outer and inner layer, epidermis and gastrodermis, and when come to the innermost layer, the special properties is coloblast cell, and the outermost layer of the epidermis will be cilia containing structure. So this cilia containing structure which helps in swimming, and in case of all the organisms of animal group, the only largest animal which forms the locomotion or it can swim for the longer time, only one organism, which is organisms which are coming from the ctenophora. Here we need to discuss about one more important point, that is the gastrodermis. So this gastrodermis is having myoepithelial cells inside to this layer. So inside to this layer they possess myoepithelial cells. Myoepithelial cells, and these myoepithelial cells which forms the presence of a canal system, as I said here, the canal system which helps in the easy exchange of material, either the food material or the waste component. So it is by general body surface, the excretion and the respiration process. By the help of outermost skin layer, it forms the respiration, that means exchange of gases, and excretion is by the help of canal system and also the canal system which is present, which helps in exchange of materials, that is nitrogenous waste material. As it is present in the water body, that means aquatic in habitat, it will be of ammonotelic. Excretion is of ammonotelic. As in case of excretion, I said there are three different type of organisms which can be grouped in animal kingdom based on its major excretory product. In that ammonotelic, ureotelic, uricotelic. Here, as these are living in the water body, it forms the excretion of waste material in the form of ammonia. So this is in the form of ammonia. So that's why these organisms are considered as a ammonotelics. So regarding Ctenophora, we completed the properties and the structural modification are the appearance. Okay. So here we'll move to the next phyla, that is Platyhelminthes immediate. Platyhelminthes, and these are commonly called as flat worms, as helminthes refers to worms and platy refers to flat. Flat worms are also called as Platyhelminthes. And coming to the general properties, these organisms are having tissue level of organization, sorry, organ system level of organization. Organ system level of organization. And as in case of body wall and the body cavity. So here in case of Platyhelminthes, these are triploblastic. These are triploblastic and they are considered as acoelomates. See, I have written triploblastic, but it is acoelomate. What is the difference here? As in case of acoelomate, they possess only ectoderm and endoderm, and the mesodermal germ layer is absent, which forms the body cavity. So this is what the complete information regarding acoelomates. But when come to the triploblastic, the body wall which is formed by 3 germ layers should be there. But here I have written triploblastic, that is all the 3 germ layers are present. But when it comes to acoelomate, only 2 layers are there. So in this way I am representing. But the thing is, scientists believe that these organisms are going to evolve with the presence of a very small layer of mesoderm, which forms, so this is considered as a ectoderm. So this is considered as ectoderm, and inner to this is a endoderm. And to the inner wall of ectoderm and to the outer wall of endoderm. To the outer wall of endoderm, there will be a presence of mesodermal germ layer appearance. Germ layer appearance I am telling, and that is by the presence of a special type of cells called as parenchyma cells, as it is expressed in case of plant cells only, but in case of animal cells also we can say that parenchyma, previously elidhe nanu. In the same way, here it is parenchyma cells will be there, and that forms the appearance of mesodermal germ layer. So that's why these are called as triploblastic animals, but these are said to be acoelomate as due to the absence of complete mesodermal germ layer. I hope you understood regarding triploblastic property separately and acoelomates separately. Acoelomate refers to absence of body cavity. Keep it in mind, it is absence of body cavity. But triploblastic means the presence of 3 germ layers. Here ectoderm and endoderm it is complete, and the mesodermal germ layer is originating, it is appearing right now. So that's why it is said to be triploblastic. And come to the symmetry of an organism. These exhibit bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, as the body can be cut into 2 equal arms. So in case of these organisms, the flatworms, which can be cut into two equal halves. Say for example, I will write the diagram for this. Say I am writing the diagram for one of the exemplar organism, that is tapeworm. Tapeworm. So why it is called as tapeworm? So as tilers are using a tape for measuring purpose. In the same way, that same appearance and the resemblance of tape like structure, so those are called as tapeworms, and these are present in the intestine of humans. Intestine of humans, and we will discuss about the properties in within a 5 minutes, but we will write the diagram to understand the bilateral symmetry. So there will be a presence of head region, there will be a presence of cephalization process, so that's why it is called as head structure, and later on a narrow tube like structure which is extended from the head region. So this head is called as head region, head like structure, not head region, it is head like structure which is called as a scolex. And next, the extension without the segmentation. So here it is a segments which are formed. So without segments, this is called as a neck. And later on, which is going to be developed into a ribbon like, a lengthier, and also a wider segments. So when it start extending its body from anterior to posterior, it is going to show the wider segmentation. So this is a wider segmentation which can be observed in case of Taenia solium. So scientific name of tapeworm is Taenia solium. So you can find out the or identify the lumen, that means a space which is present in the neck region. How much space it will be made be of 1 or 2 centimeter. But when it extended throughout the body till the end of a posterior region, you can find this as a posterior end, and this is called as anterior region. Okay, so these are will be the wider segment, and you can find the absence of segmentation in the neck region, but it start formation of segments, separate segments when it comes to the posterior end, and they are going to become little bit wider. So in this way it shows the structural development. So these are the segments, and this is called as a Taenia solium. Scientific name will be Taenia solium. Okay na? Taenia solium anteli kariti. And you can find the idish matra illi express ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀನಿ. So in the same way you can find the equal halves after cutting of an involution. So you can expect the presence of lateral side, right and left side after the cutting process. So in this way you can find the bilateral symmetry. I hope you understood about the bilateral symmetry properly. So if I am going to cut myself, I can able to cut on the dorsoventral axis. So ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ವೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಾರ್ಸಲ್ ವರ್ಟೆಬ್ರಲ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So I can be able to cut myself and to get the bilateral symmetry only on ventral and dorsal position. And sometimes some animals can be cut into equal halves. We can get the equal halves only through anterior posterior axis. See, for example, you are going to take a rabbit, okay, and that rabbit will be having ಲೋಯರ್ ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್. ಈಗ ಹೀಗೆ ಸ್ಟಮಕ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಈ ಥರ ನೀವೊಂದು ರ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಡ್ ಇದೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಟೈಲ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಾರ್ಸಲ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಸೈಡ್. If you cut in this section, you cannot get the equal halves. But if you are going to cut the animal from anterior to posterior axis. So ee tara cut ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ on one side there will be a one forelimb and one hind limb, and one forelimb and one hind limb, and later on two pinna, external ear pinna will be present ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. And then one nostril from one side and other nostril for other side it will be formed. So in this way you can get the equal halves of called as bilateral symmetry. When it comes to the rabbit, it is anterior posterior axis, anterior to posterior region equal cut. For us it is dorsal and ventral position, ventral or dorsal position we will get this. So here in case of this anterior to posterior, if you cut the animal, then you will get the bilateral symmetry. So this is about bilateral symmetry. We will move to the next property. That is, here in case of these platyhelminthes, there will be of two different forms. One is free living forms, free living forms, and few are parasitic in nature. That means few of the organisms will use the host organism to complete their life cycle, and few organisms are present in the soil or maybe in the water habitat. Few will be present inside the host organism. If they are present in host organism's body, then are called as a parasitic one, and few are said to be free living form. Here example for free living form will be planaria, and for parasitic form will be tapeworm, or you can take this liver fluke. It can be used a scientific name Fasciola hepatica. Scientific name of liver fluke will be Fasciola hepatica, and for tapeworm it is Taenia solium. So how it looks when it comes to the structure of a planaria, I will write here only structure of planaria. The head of planaria will be is having a triangular shape, and it extends its body as narrower, a small leaf-like structure. So this is called as planaria. So here it become head is larger and very smaller. This one. So take for example planaria. It looks how? With a blunt end, one mouth will be there, and then eyes are there as a sensory organs, and this is considered as a triangular shape, and again it extends its body as a leaf-like structure. So this is called as a planaria. You can find the eyes over here and the mouth. So when it comes to free living, as it is free living, it is possessed with the digestive system, its own digestive system, and is of intracellular mode of digestion. The holozoic nutrition and intracellular digestion. So ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ರಿಪೀಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತವೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಐ ನೀಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ and you have to go through the previous one. Holozoic mode of nutrition and the digestion will be intracellular, and as it is free living, it possesses the digestive system. Here digestive system will be there, but when come to tapeworm or the liver fluke, so these are parasitic forms of platyhelminthes. So these live in the intestine of humans, and these live in the liver of humans. They are the parasitic organism. So that's why they take their food directly from the host. They need not to have their own digestive system. So that's why they form the parasitic mode of life and get the nutrition from the host organism, right? Regarding the forms or maybe their habitat where they are living. When come to the unique properties, unique properties. Here there is a cephalization started from this phylum. Cephalization means formation of head region. Here it is called as head region, right? Cephalization is started from this phyla, and later on they possess a digestive system, which is, I discussed about the digestive system in case of free living forms and also parasitic forms. Coming to the nervous system, they contain a diffuse type of nervous system where they possess nerve fibers which are in the form of ladder-like appearance, a network, ladder-like appearance. A network of ladder-like appearance will be there for nerve fibers, right? Regarding the nervous system in case of Platyhelminthes. And coming to the reproduction process, here these also hermaphrodite organisms. These also hermaphrodite in nature, but forms cross fertilization with the older ones. Cross fertilization with older ones. And we cannot find the in unisexual organisms, but here single organism possess the is having both the sexes. And one special property in case of Platyhelminthes is the presence of the excretory system. Here it is starting with the new type of excretory system, which is formed by the presence of a special type of cells called as flame cells. And these flame cells helps in excretion. And how they look here? So when you take up the flame cell structure, it is having the appearance of this structure like appearance, and again inner wall. So this is considered as a inner wall, and again after this you can find the presence of nucleus and the cytoplasm over here, and at the base of the inner wall you can find the basal granules, and these basal granules will extend their cilia like structures, and these cilia will unite at the end. So this is called as anterior end of a cilia, and this is called as posterior end of cilia, and this posterior end of cilia which are united together, and this is forming a tuft of cilia or ciliary tuft, and this is a structure of a flame cell. It helps in excretion, right? So regarding which one? Flame cells for excretion. Platyhelminthes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ excretion ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, by general body surface it excretes its waste material ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. But when it comes to this region, the organisms are exhibiting the special type of excretory system, that is by contributing our formation of a flame cells to form a excretion. Right now we discussed about the excretory system. Here you can find that the examples are planaria, liver fluke and also tapeworm. So these are the examples for Platyhelminthes. So I hope you all understood about the this session regarding Ctenophora and Platyhelminthes. So as it is in case of this session, you have gone through the two different phyla with different properties. So that's why you have to go through the same video again and again to understand the properties in detail. Okay. So here we completed Ctenophora and Platyhelminthes. Thank you, dear students.